Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Danganronpa If, the Warriors of Hope and the Button of Despair. Wait, is that the name of it? I'm 90% sure it is. I don't have anything around me to try and remember that super long title. I hope that's the title, otherwise that's gonna be really embarrassing. So, let us continue. Mikoto Naegi just died, and now we're Junko, or as we should say, Mukuro Ikusaba. So let's continue. Huh? Time had certainly stopped for Mukuro Ikusaba. It was as if everything around her had frozen perfectly still. In the past, she was known as the ultimate soldier. She had experienced this feeling before during her time with the mercenary group Fenrir. In situations where she was surrounded by a hopeless number of enemies within the jungle or in desert ruin, the charging enemies seemed as though they were frozen in time, which allowed her to claim a decisive victory in all her battles. But this wasn't a battlefield, so why did this familiar sensation activate once again? In order to understand what had happened, Mukuro slowly tried to assess the current situation from within this frozen world. Junko and Mukuro are both children of despair. But Junko Enoshima, the true ultimate despair, harbors a far deeper darkness within her. Though their last names are different, Mukuro is Junko's older sister, connected by their bonds of blood. She cooperated with Junko's hopeless plan, and impersonated her under the pretense of participating in the killing game alongside her classmates. According to the plan, Mukuro was supposed to oppose Monokuma, who her sister was controlling, and be locked in a dungeon as punishment. Isolated from the others, she would then escape the dungeon and perform various acts intended to deprive the students of hope. That was the role she had been assigned. When Mikoto succumbed to his headache, Junko ordered her to see if the shock had caused him to remember anything that could make him a liability. He woke up as she was tending to him, so she made small talk with him, but she didn't notice any change in his behavior. Until this point, she was certain there shouldn't be any problems. Nothing could possibly go wrong. Hey, never say those words. She stomped on Monokuma like her sister ordered oh my god, and flawlessly spoke the lines she was taught to memorize. Afterward, she would fall through a trapdoor into the dungeon and remain isolated from the other students. That was her role. She hadn't done anything wrong. There were no problems. There were no problems. She repeated that to herself over and over like a silent prayer. But in that frozen moment of time, what she saw was not a trap door, but countless spears. One of them had skewered Mikoto through his side. Why? Mikoto? Why are there spears? Gungnir? I hate that word, it's so tough to say. I would have died if I hadn't moved. Did Junko mess up the plan? No, Junko would never mess up. Was she trying to kill me? Me? Mikoto saved me? Why? Why did he say my name? Did his memories come back? Did I not realize that? Did I make a mistake? Is that why Junko got angry? Okay, so it's less New Game Plus Mikoto and more regaining the memories, but New Game Plus also works. Is this punishment? Is it my fault? Junko tried to kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Slowly, time came back to her world. Mukuro could feel her face turning pale as she slowly looked toward Mikoto. The students' screams rang throughout the gym. Sayaka was probably the first one to scream. But who screamed first didn't matter to Mukuro. Mikoto. Why? Mikoto was the ultimate lucky student. That's ironic. He had been her classmate for the past 2 years, and now he was a sacrifice to despair. Okay, so Mukuro was a classmate. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense if they are ultimates. Not long ago, he had given her an answer of sorts during their conversation in the nurse's office. He was just a pawn in the plan her sister had devised. But now, a feeling of doubt began forming in Mukuro's mind. What did I want from Mikoto? As her heart churned restlessly, she continued to think. In return, I promise that if I do decide to kill someone, it won't be you. Was I impersonating Junko then? Or did I really mean that? Well, considering I didn't give you the fake Junko voice, which for Mukuro is super fake. Just saying, I'm gonna say you really meant that. When did I start feeling this doubt? Just now, the moment he saved me? Or when we spoke in the nurse's office earlier? Or when I first confronted him about this killing game before his memories returned? Or was it before even that? Mukuro stood there, confused and overwhelmed, as Mikoto slowly opened his eyes, the spear still impaling him through the side. Mukuro? Mikoto, are you okay? Mukuro was no longer impersonating the ultimate fashionista. Looking up from the floor of the gym, Mikoto asked, "Why are you dressed up like Junko?" He was smiling. Maybe he couldn't feel the pain anymore, or maybe he was being affected by something else. But regardless, Mikoto ignored the fact he was dying just to give Mukuro his warm smile. I'm glad you're safe, Mukuro." As soon as she heard Mikoto's weak, fading voice, something inside Mukuro snapped. From within the shell of despair she had built up, an intense emotion began flowing out. No, this is all wrong. She couldn't hold back that emotion any longer. No. And for the first time in her entire life, Mukuro unleashed a scream into the world. More Japanese text. As Mukuro fell to her knees and clutched her head, a small shadow started walking toward her back. The stuffed animal that had been under her foot, Monokuma. His claws were extended, and he was no longer walking with his usual waddle. Instead, he moved like a beast silently stalking its prey as he slowly advanced within his target's blind spot. As he inched close to Mukuro, Monokuma raised his razor-sharp claws, crouched on his haunches — what the heck are haunches? — and suddenly leapt toward the back of her neck. However, just before those claws could reach the paralyzed Mukuro, a dark shadow moved in from the side and swatted those claws away with one blow. Was it Sakura? Or his lunge deflected, Monokuma was sent flying through the air, spinning wildly before crashing into the wall. "Damn you, what are you trying to do?" says a person who I don't know who it is. It was Sakura! The ultimate martial artist, also known as Akuma in drag, had just prevented another tragedy. She stood before Monokuma and addressed him in a loud booming voice. "Not only did you attempt to kill Junko for violating school regulations, you even attacked Mikoto, who had nothing to do with this. If you plan to continue acting in such a savage manner, there is no reason for us to play along with your game." Oh, was that... Wait, was that Byakuya? No. Smirked condescendingly at Sakura. "Fool. One could say you've now violated against school regulations with your senseless actions." He looked as if he honestly did not care if his fellow students lived or died at all. What? Who? I hate this! Well, she merely deflected the headmaster's act, so I do not think it truly counts as act of violence. Oh, Celeste. Okay. Well, she merely deflected the headmaster's attack just now, so I do not think it truly counts as an act of violence. Like Byakuya, Celeste seemed unfazed as she chided him over his words. However, the banter between the two was enough to stir the stunned students to action. Mikoto! Mikoto! God, I hate not knowing who says stuff. Saka was the first one to run toward Mikoto, who lay bleeding from his stomach. But Monokuma stopped her, shouting in a tone of voice that seemed completely out of character. "Be careful! Don't get too close to those two!" Huh? Startled by Monokuma's desperate tone, Sayaka and the others stopped moving almost instinctively. The students looked around at each other. Instead of his usual playful gait, Monokuma walked toward them with deliberate, methodical steps. And then, he suddenly blurted out something that took everyone, including Mukuro Ukusaba, by surprise. "I'm sure you're suddenly confused by this sudden turn of events, but I want you guys to work together." What? As Mukuro slowly turned her head toward Monokuma, he pointed at her and yelled, "Mukuro Ukusaba and her accomplice, Mikoto Naegi, are the terrorists responsible for locking you all inside the academy!" Once again, time stopped for Mukuro. But this time, she wasn't the only one affected. Everyone seemed to be frozen in shock. After a few seconds of silence, Aoi Asahina, best girl, the ultimate swimming pro, spoke first. You're kidding, right? I mean, Mikoto is a terrorist? That's impossible. And who's Mukuro anyway? I mean, that's Junko. Monokuma began slowly explaining to Aoi. The real Junko must be imprisoned somewhere in this school. Worst case scenario, she might be killed. Mukuro must have researched which one of you would be easiest for her to impersonate and hid among you all pretending to be her. She was probably trying to make sure the killing game went smoothly. Suddenly, Monokuma's hands and feet began jerking in an awkward motion as he looked at the other students and introduced himself. Please don't jerk around. I'm Bishiki Madairai. Wait, Bishiki Madairai, the ultimate hacker. That's gotta be something. I'm your upperclassman. I hacked in from the outside and I was able to finally take control of Monokuma's body just a little while ago. What a big liar. Take control from who? From the head of the terrorist organization that's controlling this robot from the outside. What? What are you saying, Junko? Mukuro trembled as she heard the words coming from Monokuma's mouth. For a brief moment, she clung to the hope that her sister wasn't trying to kill her, but as soon as that hope was born, it was immediately consumed by despair. Junko had the power to transform hope into despair. She would never let anyone hack her that easily. There was only one explanation. Junko Enoshima was pretending to be someone named Bishiki in order to frame Mukuro and Mikoto. It was as though Junko was using Mukuro's survival as a branching path. Get it? Because it's like branching path. Okay. To lead the students to a different despair. Monokuma continued talking, telling the students more lies designed to prod them to action. On your first day to Hope's Peak Academy, you guys were exposed to sleeping gas, knocked unconscious, and taken hostage. Mukuro and Mikoto are probably the only operatives that the terrorists are sent inside the school. That means they probably know how to escape from here. And then, Monokuma turned to face Mukuro. Mukuro Ikasama was a member of a mercenary group called Fenrir. She's a wanted criminal who's killed over 10 people associated with the school. So don't get soft and think you can capture her alive. In fact, that's exactly what the cops told me. So the moment I saw an opening, I tried hacking the trap they set and tried to kill her. But what about Mikoto? Monokuma gave a cold, emotionless answer to Sayaka's question. My guess is that a measly little ultimate lucky student didn't stand a chance of defying a group like Fenrir. He was probably threatened and forced to cooperate before you entered the school. Or, judging from his earlier action, maybe Mukuro seduced him. Sayaka's face went pale as she heard that answer. She immediately stopped talking. Mukuro raised her head and shouted, You're wrong! Mikoto isn't a terrorist! You all have to believe me! The whole gym fell silent. And then, as if he was speaking for everyone there, Taka stepped forward and nervously asked, Hold on! What do you mean? Mikoto isn't a terrorist? It sounds like you're saying that there's no doubt that you, in fact, are a terrorist. I ask that you correct yourself at once and say we are not terrorists. Celeste began expressing her own doubts as well. It is strange. Does it not seem like that she is protective of someone we all just met a few days ago? Mukuro stood in silence. The other students' faces began to fill with suspicion and doubt as they realized they weren't looking at the real Junko Enoshima. Byakuya pushed up his glasses and began coldly pointing out what seemed out of place to him. I heard that fool Mikoto, or whatever his name is, call you Mukuro instead of Junko. How would Mikoto know that your name is really Mukuro if he just met you not that long ago? That's... I've also heard of Fenrir, continued Byakuya. As I recall, its members have a tattoo somewhere on their body. Oh, jeez! Instinctively, Byakuya's words put Mukuro into a calm state of mind. In hostile situations, her defensive reflexes of the ultimate soldier often manifested themselves. Mukuro's tattoo was on the back of her right hand. She wondered how she could hide this from the other students without also calling attention to it. But in the end, this concern was in vain. If the police records are true, she should have a tattoo on the back of her right hand. If the police records are true, she should have a tattoo on the back of her right hand, as Monokuma freely divulged that information. All right, cried Taka, his voice filled with enthusiasm. Show us the back of your right hand and prove your innocence. Monokuma dispense another unnecessary remark.
Make sure you look real close. She might have covered it up with foundation.
Junko had ordered Mukuro to hide her tattoo with foundation. Wow, what a jerk! So Monokuma's information was entirely true. It was nothing Mukuro could do except stay quiet. No, you could explain the situation! You could! Your identity is already exposed. Just be like, yo, hey, okay, let me explain. However, she wasn't staying quiet. Wait, oh yeah, because her identity was about to be exposed. She was struck by the realization that her sister was completely serious about pinning this on her. Why the hesitation? Shouted the foolishly honest Taka. As my classmate, I have complete faith in you. From behind him, Hifumi Yamada, the ultimate fanfic creator, murmured to himself as a cold sweat ran down his cheeks.
Well, look at that. I guess this is what they call a checkmate, huh?
He says, tipping his fedora. Wait, who's that? Mondo. What, you just fess up already, you frickin' bastard? Contrast to Hifumi, Mondo Iwata, the ultimate biker gang leader, was royally pissed. However, there were students who were busy questioning Monokuma instead of Mukuro. Hey, you're not coming to save us? Shouted Leon Kawada, the ultimate baseball star. You should hurry up and charge in here already. Monokuma looked at Leon and shook his head softly.
The police can't help you now, right now. Not only are you guys hostages, it's possible the entire school has been rigged with explosives and poisonous gas. I hacked into this Monokuma robot to investigate that for myself.
Then what about everyone on that DVD? What about everyone outside the school? Asked Sayaka. The memory of the DVD she was forced to watch yesterday still weighed heavily on her mind, but... Okay, so this is an omniscient narrator, got it. But Monokuma didn't have a clear answer.
I don't know anything about any DVDs, but there are definitely terrorists causing havoc out there. Law enforcement around the world's in shambles trying to deal with this.
That's impossible! Sayaka shuddered and collapsed to her knees. Sayaka, said a voice, or Chihiro. Next to her, Chihiro Fujisaki, the ultimate programmer, was unsure about what she could do. Behind her, two other girls stood silently. The first was Toko Fukawa, the ultimate writing speaking is tough. The ultimate writing prodigy. She seemed to be trying very hard not to look at Mikoto as he lay bleeding. Oh, 'cause right, okay. The other was a quiet girl who hadn't talked about herself much, named Kyoko Kirigiri. Unlike Toko, Kyoko was watching everything intently, as if she was studying the scene of a crime. From Makoto's breathing patterns to subtle changes in Mukuro's facial expression, nothing was escaping her attention. Suddenly, Toko began nervously talking to Sakura. Anyway, let's just say that Mukuro woman, or whoever over there, is a terrorist. Hurry up and beat her to death or something. We don't know that yet, said Sakura. My fists do not mete out justice based on mere speculation. Sakura tried to get Mikoto to examine his wounds, but Monokuma stood in her way shouting,
Don't come any closer!
This meant that Mukuro was the only one who could get close to Mikoto. She had ended countless lives on the battlefield. She knew from experience. She didn't treat Mikoto's wounds, he would die. His wounds were not immediately fatal. Okay. I assumed through the side, out the back. That's super dead, dude. But if you continue losing blood, you'd eventually slip into shock and die shortly thereafter. Please, you need to treat Mikoto first. Absolutely not, said Byakuya, harshly interrupting Mukuro. Tying you up and investigating the back of your right hand is our first priority. Hey, Mikoto's in danger. Now's not the time for that. Said Aoi as she cast a worried glance at Mikoto. She's still having trouble understanding the situation, and hadn't decided if Mikoto was suspicious or not. Byakuya was about to snap back at her, but Mukuro's actions stunned him into silence. She took a deep breath and then, Mukuro removed the blonde wig from her head. Where there were two long blonde-plated pigtails only a moment before, there was now short black hair, an immediate improvement in my eyes. She cleared her face of all emotion, and when she spoke, her voice rang throughout the gym. I'm not Junko Enoshima. My name is Mukuro Ikisaba. The student stared wide-eyed at her open confession. All she did was remove her wig and clear her emotions. But in doing so, the person the students had recognized as Junko Enoshima vanished from their sight. The terrorist that had taken her place continued to speak in a calm, stoic voice. I helped lock everyone inside this academy. The confession... Wait. Hifumi. Frick, wait. I haven't played DR1 in a while. Hifumi is Yes, Hifumi's fanfiction, got it.
The confession on a seaside cliff moment has finally arrived, Hifumi blurted out.
Wigs are against school regulations, Junko! I mean Mukuro! Shouted Taka. Are they? Are wigs against school regulation? We had a bunch of cosplay weebs at our school who would wear wigs every day in high school. As if stirred by their cries of excitement, the other students began clamoring among themselves. Huh? Said Yasuhiro. So Mikoto's wounds are like, for real? Does that mean the stuff about terrorists and whatever is all real too? So everything that's happened these past few days wasn't a bunch of staged events? As the reality of the situation began dawning on Yasuhiro, all Leon could say to him was, "Shut the hell up!" Byakuya just remained calm and addressed Mukuro in a condescending manner. What does your group want? If you were after money, you would have already tried to negotiate with me. Of course, I'd rather let them die than surrender to your ransom demands. Our purpose is to fill the world with despair. Byakuya scoffed at this notion and began to speak once again. I see. Monokuma said something similar. So that ideology is what fuels your terrorism. It's true, if you did anything to me, you would certainly fill the world with despair. But obviously that would be impossible for you. I couldn't believe what Byakuya was saying, and frowned as she muttered, How self-centered can you be? After confirming that Byakuya had no more questions for her, Mukuro looked at Mikoto, whose breathing had slowed, and let her voice show some emotion. But Mikoto has nothing to do with this. You can't believe what Monokuma says. What do you say, bench? Shouted Mondo. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're a terrorist, just like Monokuma said. Mukuro looked away from Mondo and continued speaking. That's true, but Mikoto isn't involved at all. Celeste coldly brushed her objection aside. I do not think trying to protect him will do you any good. After all, we all heard Mikoto call you by your real name. She had no words. There was nothing she could say to protect Mikoto, even though Mikoto was truly innocent. Though Mukuro was the ultimate soldier, her powers were largely limited to battle. Even a normal high school student could outwit her when it came to debate and negotiation. If she were the ultimate negotiator, she might be able to convince them that their memories had been erased. But in her current situation, if she tried to bring up their memory loss, they would think it was a desperate excuse. Okay, I was wondering, why not bring up the memory loss, but okay, even Mukuro knew that. But even if she didn't know what to say, she still knew what to do. Right now, we need to treat Mikoto first. And then she started walking toward Mikoto as if nothing had happened. To the others, it seemed like Mukuro had decided to abruptly change the subject. Hold it, we will immediately take Mikoto to the nurse's office for treatment. However, we must tie you up. That was Sakura's honest demand. But there was no way Mukuro could accept it. If she was separated from Mikoto, there'd be no telling what Monokuma would do to him. And between Mondo's hot temper and Byakuya's cold heart, Mikoto could easily sustain further injuries under the pretense of an interrogation. Furthermore, among these students, Mukuro knew that she was the only one who had experienced treating wounds due to her time with Fenrir. After mulling that over, she narrowed her eyes and went silent. Her mind was made up. She was determined to fight her way out of here and escape with Mikoto. I apologize, but I need you to fall asleep right now. As she said that, Sakura instantly positioned herself behind Mukuro. Nani? She was completely within her blind spot. Okay, let me try that line again. I apologize, but I need you to fall asleep right now. To a normal person, it would have seemed like Sakura had suddenly vanished. After moving faster than a human being could see, Sakura's equally fast hands launched a blow toward the back of Mukuro's neck. However, sorry Sakura, but I need to get out of here. Mukuro parried Sakura's fist with a spinning roundhouse kick. Yo, Mukuro just pressed, like literally, that was a cross-up parry into Tatsu. Yo! Sakura raised an eyebrow at the unexpected counterattack. No, Kay, if you don't know the third strike parry sound, just imagine a cross-up version of and then Tatsumaki Sabigeki. Like, oh god, that's so good. Sakura raised an eyebrow at the unexpected counterattack. Mukuro tried to use the momentum of her kick to sweep Sakura's feet out from under her. Crouching heavy kick. However, Sakura dodged and instinctively struck back against Mukuro's pivot leg. The hurt box on the medium punch is better than the hitbox on the heavy kick. But Mukuro was faster and jumped up, aiming a tornado kick at Sakura's chin. That is literally a Tatsumaki. Tatsumaki means a hurricane. It's a hurricane kick. Mukuro has Tatsus. Sakura deflected the attack with one arm. Another parry! Both companions leapt backward, glared, and charged simultaneously. Dash! Every blow they dealt was parried and countered by the other. It's like a DBZ fight, and though they were both unarmed, the sound of the battle echoed throughout the gym. It was very, very hype. It was like a typhoon had been compressed to the size of a small car and let loose inside the gym. The other students were powerless to stop them. All they could do was stare at the breathtaking dance of death unfolding before them. After 10 minutes have passed, the enormous sound of one final impact rang throughout the gym. The two warriors leapt back once again, breathed heavily as they stared down each other. It's literally Dragon Ball Z. My mistake. Though it's only been a few days, I cannot believe I did not notice such an impressive fighter was hiding among us. In addition to the surprise Sakura felt, it was as if the battle had left her energized. Mukuro, on the other hand, looked down at her arm, confirmed that it had been wounded during the battle, and thought to herself, she's strong. I don't think Sakura's even taking things this seriously right now. Despite her constantly being surrounded by firearms, blades, traps, and explosives during a time at Fenrir, this was the first time she had ever been wounded. Mukuro was powerless before the might of the woman known as the Ultimate Martial Artist, and the strongest woman in the world. Just as I thought. I can't beat Sakura with my bare hands alone. She had been directly ordered to kill Sakura. Mukuro would have opted to either snipe her from a distance or poison her. At this close range, she would need an assault rifle to stand a fighting chance. I don't have time for this. She looked at Mikoto and confirmed that his breathing had grown even shallower. We need to hurry. But that moment, she had no one to turn to for help. Suddenly, Mukuro had an idea. It was true that gaining an ally in this situation was impossible. However, she could still turn one person into her enemy's enemy. Mukuro took a deep breath before she charged at Sakura. Then she immediately fainted and charged at a different girl, Toko, who had been cowering in fear from the battle between Sakura and Mukuro in the corner of the gym. This is bad! This is bad! Sakura was caught off guard and tried to run after her. Mukuro was one step ahead and reached Toko first. Why me? I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Mukuro jabbed Toko in her solar plexus. I don't even know what that is. It fell into her arms. Okay. Hey Siri, what's a solar plexus?
Okay, check it out.
The celiac plexus, located in the abdomen. Okay, that's a tiny picture. Okay, cool. Makes sense, though. Okay, so series of nerves located in the abdomen. Got it. Takanawa let out shock. This is bad. She plans to use Toko as a hostage. Toko! I don't know who those were. In contrast to the shocked faces, Byakuya just snickered and coldly remarked, "You fool! Do you really think we care if you take someone we just met a few days ago as your hostage?" Mukuro just softly glanced at Byakuya and replied, "You didn't meet her a few days ago." "What did you say?" "You met her 2 years ago." Byakuya scowled. Mukuro ignored him and held her bloody arm in front of Toko's face. And then she yelled into her ears, "Wake up, Genocide Jack!" Yo! Okay, well, that's where we're going to end it for today. That's a good cliffhanger point. Okay, well, that's super hype, guys. Yeah, we'll leave a bookmark here, and we'll see you next time when Genocide Jack comes into, to have a fun time, I guess. I haven't even gotten to Genocide Jack and Ultra Despair Girls, so we don't even know, but thank you for watching, and we'll continue next time for some more. Ciao. You can